The receipts at the end of the day have all escalated since Sally's been here because everybody wants to take over a cup of coffee, right?
Oh, I love the coffee too. It's great. You can get all sorts of combinations of everything.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Just sit down with the Lord and just talk with him, just like a friend wants to talk. You know, sometimes we think we have to have certain words or, you know, speak a certain way, but it's just speaking your heart, just sharing your heart, and sometimes just that being together.
That's right.
That's what the Lord wants from all of us, you know, just that time of being together with him. And that prayer is so crucial. We can't emphasize that enough. You know, that the Lord wants us one-to-one. You know, like it's if Sally, as if Tim, your husband, writes great poetry, right?
That's right.
So if I would read poems about you, poems that he wrote about you, that would be fine. You know, if I would watch videos about you, that would be fine. But it wouldn't be anything like talking to you, would it?
No.
And I think, and that's what it is, you know, with the Lord. It's not like, you know, watching a lot of videos and things like that, not reading a lot of books about God, but actually just being with God, just sitting down to listen to him or to speak to him from our hearts. You know, it doesn't even have to be with our lips. But that's what the Lord wants, you know, just to put some time aside every day to be with him. And that's the life-changing experience. I know that's when my life really changed. I mean, I knew the Lord. I loved the Lord. I knew his promises were for me. But when my life really changed was when I started to, you know, and I was bedridden from the accident that I had.
That's right.
And then I started to just spend a lot of time with the Lord. And, you know, that was when the doctor said that there wasn't going to be any help for me, and I was totally disabled. And through the miracle-working power of the blood of Jesus Christ, I'm here sitting with you today, not bedridden, not totally disabled, through his grace and through his power. But that was the time when he really drew me very close to him, began to speak to me, because, you know, it's a time when he could have my total attention.
That's right.
I wasn't busy with all those things that we get busy about, you know, and now it's a decision to give that attention to him. You know, but now when life comes, you know, other things of life come in, we make that decision. Now you have 4 children.
That's right.
And you're working. How many hours a week are you there working in the center?
I work 3 days a week.
3 days a week.
CCR.
So it's like, what, 24 hours a week?
Yes.
And then you do weekend things. You're away on weekends to do programs and setting up programs and arranging visitors and doing so many things other than just that space in the office. And in Australia, they play every kind of sport. They play netball, they play water polo, they play.
Yes, we're all busy.
And they're dancing and they're doing all kinds of things, and the kids are running around all the time. So how do you find time? How do you make time to be with the Lord?
Well, I make it a priority. When I decided to give that time to the Lord, I just set aside the time in the mornings. That's the best time for me. So once I get the kids off to school, I go and sit with God, and sometimes I go and I've got all the things sort of running through my head of family life and what I need to do for the day. But I find that if I just go and sit in his presence and often just pick up a passage from the Bible and just sort of focus on him, then he comes and meets me and I find time. But it's making him a priority. I've decided to make God a priority in my life, and so I make that time with him the first thing that I do. So that's a priority for me. So, and I just feel that that I've made him Lord of my life. So making him Lord of my life means I need to find that time for him every day.
Right. You know, we didn't talk about this, but the morning time is also my time. And I think it was this morning that we were actually reading in the Word, early in the morning I call you.
Yeah,
it seems to be the time that God likes to me too. It's early in the morning, early in the morning he calls us.
Yes.
And I find that also, you know, Ed would say, he'll tell you, even when we're on mission, it's like, I don't want to come out of my room until I've had the time with the Lord, because once I come out, you never know what's going to happen.
Right, yes.
So make that morning time the priority, because we won't be equipped for our day. I mean, so many times I know I just would not be equipped for my day unless I spent that time with the Lord before coming out to do anything else, you know. And if something happens to interrupt that, you just feel that
you're not.
You're not something, right? Something's really missing, and you feel that. You know, I guess it's just like if you didn't give your husband a hug that day or whatever, you didn't have that
missed
love,
out on something.
that hug, missing out on something.
I think it also sort of gives you gives you what you need, the strength to cope with what's ahead. You know, whether it's things with your children or you know, what's planned for you for that day.
Right.
If you've spent time with the Lord, it's just